Is Jayson Tatum about to shatter medical expectations? The NBA world expected silence, doubt, and a long road to recovery. What they got instead was something far more shocking. Just 2 months after suffering a devastating Achilles tear, Jayson Tatum appeared without a boot, no limp, no crutches, no signal of defeat. Instead, the Celtics star posted a photo casually resting, legs up, with both feet fully visible. The message: he's not just healing, he's coming. But how is this even possible? Tatum's injury, which happened in Game 4 against the Knicks, was supposed to be the moment everything unraveled. It was a cruel twist at the end of a performance that had Celtics fans on the edge of their seats. 40 points, 57% shooting, for steals, to blocks. He dominated the floor in ways few superstars ever do in the playoffs. And then, suddenly, the silence, the pain, the fall. Less than 20 hours later, he was in surgery. No waiting, no weighing options, immediate action. And according to medical research, that decision might have changed everything. ESPN's Stephania Bell cited studies showing that athletes who undergo Achilles surgery within 48 hours have better recovery outcomes in both tissue structure and biomechanics. Tatum made that window barely. Now here's the part that should raise eyebrows across the league. The average return timeline for an Achilles tear in the NBA is 10 months, but Tatum's progress is already ahead of schedule. He was recently seen training in a boot with the Chattanooga men's basketball team. Days later, the boot vanished. No announcement, no press conference, just one image that sent a message louder than words. He's moving forward, faster than anyone expected. And that's where things get complicated for the rest of the NBA. Tatum is not just any player. His off-season training regimen is legendary. His obsession with improvement is well documented. And now, with this injury, he has something even more dangerous. A reason, a challenge, a new way to silence the doubters. He doesn't just want to return. He wants to rewrite what is possible after an Achilles tear. Is it risky? Of course. But what if he pulls it off? What if Tatum returns not only faster than expected, but stronger, smarter, and more relentless? What does that mean for a Celtics roster that already looks deeper, more experienced, and more motivated than ever? Some experts might say he's pushing too hard. Others might quietly admit they've never seen recovery discipline like this. But there's one thing no one can deny. This is not normal. This isn't just healing. This is redefining what healing looks like for a modern NBA superstar. Did the Celtics just draft the next Luka nightmare for the Lakers? What if the Celtics' most dangerous weapon this season isn't a superstar, but a teenager with a vision? A 19-year-old with no NBA experience, already talking about Luka Doncic like he's just another name on a checklist. Hugo Gonzalez didn't just mention Doncic in passing. He targeted him, boldly, directly. And that simple statement may have revealed something much bigger than anyone expected. When Boston used the 28th pick on Gonzalez, it didn't send shockwaves. No headlines, no breaking news banners, but that may have been a mistake. Because beneath the surface of this quiet first-round selection is a player with the kind of mindset you don't often see in rookies. He's not coming to the NBA to learn, he's coming to challenge, and the name he chose to call out: Luka Doncic. Now ask yourself this: why would a rookie, unproven in the league, step up and publicly state that facing Luka is what he's most looking forward to? Is it respect? Of course, but it's also something deeper. It's a declaration. Gonzalez knows what people are saying, that he's young, that he's raw, that his stats in the summer league: 11.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists are nice but not revolutionary. And yet, he still dares to speak Doncic's name. The connection goes deeper than most realize. Both Gonzalez and Luka came up through Real Madrid, one of Europe's elite basketball programs. Different eras, same system, same roots. For Gonzalez, Doncic isn't just a superstar, he's a blueprint. Proof that a European teenager can step into the NBA and dominate. But here's the twist no one is talking about. The Celtics didn't draft Gonzalez to fill minutes. They drafted him because they saw something more. A ceiling higher than scouting reports were willing to admit. A confidence that doesn't come from hype, but from repetition, preparation, and a quiet internal fire. And now, Boston finds itself in a strange but fascinating situation. They lost depth this offseason. Veterans walked. Trades shifted the core. On paper, it looks like a step back. But what if that's exactly the opening Gonzalez needed? He's not flashy yet, he's not polished, but the opportunity is real. If he can make his mark off the bench, this isn't just about development, it's about impact. Real, immediate, game-altering impact. And that showdown with Luka It might happen sooner than anyone imagined. Is Boston quietly building its next super team while trading away a $100 million guard? Most teams lose a star and brace for a fall. The Celtics lose Jayson Tatum to an Achilles tear and immediately start moving chess pieces like a franchise with a hidden plan, and that's exactly what's happening behind the scenes right now. Boston isn't just trading players. They're executing a calculated shift that could reshape the future of the Eastern Conference. The shocking part, one of the names on the move might be Anfernee Simons, a 26-year-old guard with a $100 million contract who was supposed to be the centerpiece of the Jrue Holiday trade. Simons was the return for an aging vet, younger, cheaper, explosive. On paper, it made perfect sense. But the Celtics front office isn't operating on paper, according to multiple insiders, including Jake Fisher. Simons may never even suit up in green. Why? Because Boston isn't just trying to stay competitive, they're trying to retool while winning, and that takes more than talent. It takes control. Brad Stevens is playing a long game here. Boston's cap situation is tightening. Every dollar matters. Simons gives them flexibility, but he also represents opportunity. Rerouting him for more assets or tax relief is not a sign of panic. It's a signal of strategy. And then there's the Memphis conversation, quietly reported, largely overlooked. But think about the implications. If the Celtics are negotiating with a team like the Grizzlies, they're not just trimming payroll, they're targeting specific profiles, maybe veteran leadership, maybe draft capital, or maybe a player with untapped upside who fits a very specific vision of the post-Tatum era. Here's the twist no one's talking about. This might not be about surviving without Tatum. It might be about preparing the roster to dominate when he returns. Boston isn't waving the white flag. They're stockpiling ammo. Anfernee Simons, despite his talent, might just be a movable asset in a much larger puzzle. The Celtics know what most franchises forget. Staying loyal to one plan kills dynasties. Adapting, evolving, recalculating every offseason is what keeps contenders alive. Fans worried about the team stepping back are looking at it wrong. Boston isn't stepping back. They're planting dynamite and clearing space to build something bigger, and the decision to flip Simons could be the first spark. What if this isn't about cap space at all? What if Boston is clearing the runway for something much more aggressive, a surprise trade, a veteran buyout, or a massive in-season swing when the league least expects it? Is Boston secretly engineering the boldest trade of the offseason? What if the Celtics are preparing to trade their finals MVP, their emotional backbone, their longest-tenured star, and still walk away even more dangerous? That's the kind of high-risk, high-reward move being whispered in league circles. And the shockwave it would send could flip the NBA landscape. Picture this: Jaylen Brown in Memphis, Anfernee Simons in Chicago, a flood of versatile role players and draft assets landing in Boston, all as part of a three-team megadeal that would not only shock fans, but force every contender to rethink their trajectory. Brown has said it himself. "I've made a lot of sacrifices for the Celtics, but then came the real spark. I disagree with a lot of things." That quote wasn't just frustration, it was a warning shot. Brown, who has carried Boston through deep playoff runs and won finals MVP honors, may finally be open to something the front office has quietly considered for years. A reset centered completely around Jayson Tatum. Now imagine Brown next to Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., forming a trio built for chaos. Brown's elite two-way presence, Morant's relentless speed, Jackson's rim domination. It's not just a good fit, it's terrifying. Memphis, no longer content with flirtations near the playoff picture, could become a true Western Conference giant overnight. And then comes the twist. Boston doesn't lose control. In this scenario, they bring back Kobe White, a dynamic guard entering his prime, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a proven 3-and-D champion, G.G. Jackson, a young scoring weapon, and Santi Aldama, one of the league's most underrated stretch bigs. Add in future firsts and seconds, and suddenly Boston isn't rebuilding. They're reloading with options. The logic is ruthless but sound. With Tatum sidelined for most of the upcoming season, the Celtics aren't gunning for short-term dominance. They're looking for flexibility, sustainability, and strategic firepower. This isn't waving the white flag, this is flipping the chessboard. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. If Brown walks next year in free agency, the Celtics get nothing, but in this deal, they flip him at peak value and build around a more cost-controlled, versatile core that can support Tatum when he returns. Imagine White and Pritchard sharing the backcourt, KCP spacing the floor,